The representatives of Timber have said to have been in the UK holding meetings with Manchester United over the potential move. Now, we know that Ten Hag is a big fan and he's pushing very hard to get this deal done. One of the most credible Dutch journalists in the world has shared the news today, as you can see on your screens, that Timber's representatives have been spotted in London last week at Man United's international offices, where big transfers are being discussed. Timber is a big favourite of Erik Ten Hag. Much is being done to sign him by Manchester United. This coupled with the news today that United are going to prioritise Erik Ten Hag's number one midfield choice, which we all know to be Frankie de Jong. The season is now over. The transfer window, whether it's officially open or not, has already been set alight with big news about Mane, Tchouaméni, of course, Ivan Perisic and Bastoni with their move to Tottenham. This is picking up pace very quickly. We're going to get your takes on this morning. Hit that like and share button. Let's go. Welcome back and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Remember, 11:30 UK time today, 30th of May when this goes out, live with Dean Jones for his return to the Done Deal show. Lots of big updates coming on that, which we've kind of held back from for the last 24 hours. Of course, it's Dean's news. We're going to wait for him to share it. We're covering all the London clubs, of course, Man United and Liverpool, and much more. But some United news this morning, and Frankie de Jong, of course, been heavily linked with Man United for a number of weeks now. Here's the news this morning, as you can see from a Dutch journalist saying that Ten Hag wants to bring Frankie de Jong to Man United. In fact, he is now the number one priority signing. This will read as good news for Man United fans. First and foremost, it's reported that Man City have pulled out. Secondly, PSG have got their eyes and their minds at this moment totally fixated on stopping Tchouaméni's move to Real Madrid, to Chelsea, or to Liverpool. So there's an opportunity to sweep in. This is also coupled with news coming again out of Spain that Barca may not even be able to sign any players this year without sales. So you still keep hearing this, oh, why would Barca sell? Why would Barca sell? They're being forced into it in many ways. And if they need to raise money and raise good money quickly, that's going to come through selling assets that people want, players that people want. Yes, you could try and get rid of 3 or 4 fringe players, but clubs are going to drag you over the coals for them. There's no doubt about it. You sell one star for the right amount of money now, and you put yourself in a very different situation altogether. Now, Frankie de Jong, we saw the reports over the course of the weekend, and they were they're very consistent at the moment. When you actually read into the story, I find that they're all following the same pattern. They range from Man United are close to agreeing to it. They've already agreed a fee with Barcelona. That's matches the news that Barcelona are in financial trouble. It's all about the convincing of Frankie de Jong. Now, where the debate really starts is whether or not you should be convincing a player to stay or go. That's the debate. That's the problem. That's where the issue lies for many people. Should you have to convince a player? Is that the right way to go? Well, the answer is yes. Let's just get that out there now. The answer is absolutely yes. Kylian Mbappe had to choose between a number of clubs. Does that mean he's not committed to PSG? Would that mean that if he'd have picked Real Madrid, he wouldn't have been committed to Real Madrid because he was considering options? He considered Liverpool. The fact that he considered Liverpool and Real Madrid, does that mean he's not at PSG for the right reasons? If he'd have picked Real Madrid but considered PSG and Liverpool, does that make him a mercenary? Tchouaméni right now. Real Madrid reportedly leading the race. But he's certainly considered Chelsea. He has certainly considered Liverpool. And he's now considering PSG. Does that mean none of those clubs should sign Tchouaméni because he's considering his options? Because he's being convinced by all 4 clubs are trying to convince him. People don't think their transfer logic through. They just want to throw banter. And that's fine because football is a huge part of our game. But in actuality, it's a nonsense. Nearly every single player in the world is going to consider their options, talk to multiple clubs, and see where the best place for them is. Now, this is coupled with other news about Timber's reps being in the UK. Timber's a big favourite of Erik ten Hag, and much is being done to get him signed. Now, what's interesting about this news is that there's a big report last week, and we're going to speak to Dean Jones about it today on the Terrace, around Pau Torres being the main target of Man United, but Erik ten Hag wants it to be Timber. Now, I'm in a kind of position where I want Ten Hag to be listened to. I want there to be synergy. I want there to be a connection between what the board want and what the new manager is looking at. But it does appear that, again, this Timber deal has been, according to many people, really close for a while. You could find that this deal is potentially all but done. It's just waiting for Man United to trigger the quote-unquote official bid to take it to the advanced stages of the process. I think in terms of conversations, it's about as advanced as it can go without an official bid being submitted. Typically, you convince a player, you negotiate with the club. Once it's all in place, you submit the official bid. It's the general pattern that happens. So it's going to be really intriguing to see what direction this goes in. Now, we're going to give you a bit of a roundup of all the other transfer headlines this morning. As mentioned already, Jurrien and the decision-free future is going to start picking up pace from today. Liverpool are still going to go back in for him. PSG are pushing hard. Real Madrid are leading the fight for him as it stands right now. What's very interesting with Chelsea, though, and Chelsea are a big part of this. Chelsea Football Club, there are starting to be rumours and murmurings that the club may go very big for Declan Rice and drop their interest in Tchouaméni. Now, this often suits all parties involved. West Ham might get what they want. Declan Rice might get what they want. Tchouaméni moves to the club he desires the most. And Chelsea, because no club wants to face the embarrassment of losing out on a player that you're chasing, especially to other big clubs. And it's kind of what PSG, Madrid, and Liverpool run the risk of. And we all know that fans typically can't take that kind of emotion. So Chelsea are looking to move on to something different. It's going to be intriguing for me to see what direction they go in. I'm also want to look at Liverpool when it comes to this Tchouaméni deal because they've missed out on Mbappe. They could miss out on Tchouaméni. Mane wants to leave. And I asked this question in a video last night, and I've read most of the comments, and I haven't seen this element replied to yet, so I'd love you to do it. What do Liverpool need to do in response? What does Liverpool's response to Mane leaving have to be? You know, they have, of course, Luis Diaz that's come in. Excellent player. They've got Jota at the club. But with Origi and seemingly Sadio Mane leaving, surely there has to be a response. Surely there has to be something fairly potent done by Liverpool Football Club to counteract this. Surely the fact, listen, I know the big parade, look at the numbers for a League Cup and an FA Cup parade, by the way. It shows how behind Liverpool the city is, or half the city, and Liverpool fans from around the country. I'm sure there was a lot of international Reds that flew over for that parade as well, without a shadow of a doubt, especially as they could have been. They could have been obviously focusing on the. They would have booked it thinking and hoping that they would have been celebrating lifting of the Champions League as well, as it were. But look, I want your thoughts and I want your feelings in relation to all of this. I really, really do. There was another, of course, today as well. A little update on Ivan Perisic. It's been reported by Fabrizio Romano that he will travel to the UK to complete his move to Tottenham. It's going to be a 2-year deal. Football Terrace bought one of the first outlets to bring that to you on Friday that the deal was done. Kind of got cooked in the comments, but you know. We got confirmation from a few people that, yeah, all the reports are true. That is happening and that is over the line. But listen, people, I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on the Frankie de Jong news, the Timber news. Do you feel these deals are getting closer? I mean, this is, as I've said, this is coming from some really credible Dutch sources. This isn't just some desk journalist who's kind of reiterating the opinion of Paul Merson from a talk show. This is real, genuine, bona fide news. But I want your take and I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on it. Until next time, my people, take care. Goodbye. God bless.